Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I've been playing RuneScape for almost 18 years now, and I've always admired how Jagex enables its player base to play in whatever way they like. Are you antisocial? Play an Ironman. Are you only somewhat antisocial? Play a group Ironman. Or, you could even be one of those weirdos that plays the game without any restrictions whatsoever. I like restricted accounts as it forces you to think outside the box and do things you'd never normally do. Like this. Unironically wear a bronze chain body as your best armor. Or this. Flinch Minotaurs in the Stronghold of Security for your early combat experience. Enter Collector K, my TCG locked Ironman. You've probably heard about a popular new plugin going around called OSRS TCG, but in case you haven't, it's a new plugin that enables you to earn card packs by gaining experience, leveling up, and killing NPCs. Let's go over the rules of this account. Rule 1. I must only use items or attack monsters for which I have the card of. I feel like this is going to be fairly standard among TCG locked accounts, but notably I am allowing myself to interact with NPCs, just not attack them. Rule 2. I am able to gather from resource nodes that I do not have the corresponding card for, but must drop the resource immediately. For example, I don't need to have anything other than an axe to chop down a yew tree, but I have to drop the logs after I've gathered them. In conjunction with Rule 1, this enables some early thieving methods we'll be utilizing. Rule 3. To process materials, I need to have the raw resource unlocked, but not the product. For example, to turn raw iron into an iron bar, I just need to have raw iron to be able to use it on the furnace. Similarly to Rule 2, I'll need to drop the iron bar immediately after smelting, but we're after XP here. Given there's already a Bronzeman TCG plugin for this on the official RuneLite plugin hub, I anticipate TCG locked accounts are going to be fairly popular among content creators. I added this rule to hopefully give a bit more variety in scaling methods and not lock anything behind a huge wall of cards. Rule 4. Any item that is not a card is fair game. Notably, skill capes and the starting Ironman armor do not have corresponding cards. I did not notice this till about halfway through, hence the bronze chain body thing, but I digress. Rule 5. I'm only allowed to sell duplicates. And Rule 6. Pets are exempt. There are pet cards in the TCG plugin, but since they're just little friends to accompany you on your journey, I decided to exclude the card requirement from them, just in case we do happen to get one. Now let's talk about goals. I do have a few goals in mind, but since this series is early in development and quite frankly started on a whim, I want to get my feet wet and check what's feasible first before diving into the deep end. Give me a few episodes and we'll revisit this. With all that being said, let's get to the progress update. I know I mentioned some early thieving, but I did decide to run some agility to start. Agility is just such a nice quality of life skill for any new account that it honestly feels borderline mandatory. Along the way, there were some marks of grace that spawned, and these caused me a level of emotional distress due to not being able to pick them up. That's right, marks of grace are a card. Upon reaching level 3, I also got a count check random event. Now, we love XP lamps in this household, but unfortunately XP lamps are also a card. So, I had to commit the heinous act of destroying the lamp instead of redeeming it. On the plus side, we do get to open our first pack, so let's see what it'll be. Unfortunately, it's nothing even remotely useful, so we'll keep pushing forward. Our second pack, however, gave us raw Karambwans. Now, this could be an excellent source of cooking and fishing XP later on if we get Karambwanji and cooked Karambwan. We also got an ancient statuette, but I can't see myself farming revs anytime soon, so back to agility. After a few more laps, we got another pack, and this one's honestly pretty decent. The shiny rune boots look nice, but they are locked behind a very long Slayer grind, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. Sandfuse Serum, however, is our first prayer restoring potion. They also conveniently double up as an anti-poison, so they aren't the easiest thing in the world to obtain, but are incredibly useful if we do get a source. I'm not going to show every single card pack opening for this episode. Some of them don't really provide anything useful, and I'm honestly kind of spam opening them to try to unlock other training methods. Later down the line, we'll do big openings and make a spectacle out of it. The third pack, however, is huge. We pulled Big Bones. Now, with this, we can go to the Wilderness Graveyard, pick up Big Bones till my inventory is full, then take them to the Chaos Altar for a consistent prayer training method. So, once we wrapped up 20 agility, that's exactly where I went. Now, as a level 3, it's actually pretty dangerous here. The skeletons can hit up to 4, and they're in multi. So it's very easy for you to just get stacked out. It was inevitable that I died there at least once to them, hence why I didn't make this a hardcore. At least on the plus side, I got a pack to open, and we got Delrith, which is the boss from Demon Slayer. Now, I will be doing this quest next episode. I had assumed Silverlight was a card that I'd have to unlock But upon double checking this after I started editing, it's not. So here's a little spoiler for next episode. We also pulled Pot of Flour, which is one of the requirements for Cook's Assistant. Now, we also need pot, grain, egg, bucket, and bucket of milk in order to finish that, but any quest unlock is a good unlock, so I'm happy. Alright, back to prayer training. Luckily, nothing super exciting happened during this session. I did stop temporarily at 30 as I wanted more combat levels before coming back. Those skeletons are no joke. Luckily, while we were leaving, we pulled Minotaurs, which is a low enough combat level that I can actually start getting some amount of XP from them. I think I am going to do a little bit of thieving first to try to get a weapon to make killing the Minotaurs a bit faster. Now, I am allowed to pickpocket since my rules just state killing or attacking, but I will be destroying the coin pouches since they are card. Alright, I got impatient with thieving. I think I'm just going to flinch the Minotaurs and hope we pull a weapon soon. Few packs down and no weapons yet, but we did pull Cow Slippers, so if we ever get Brutus, I got some Fashionscape to look forward to. Looking back on this video, and it's just making me cringe so hard. I really should have just gone to Thieve instead, and maybe tried to pull a weapon or an easier monster to kill. Just kicking them like this is just so slow. Luckily, I realized my mistake before getting too deep, and from the packs, I got a Steel Mace. Which is locked behind either smithing or coins. You can buy them from shops, but obviously we're looking for coins. Coins would be huge. And I also got a bone mace, which would really be sick to get if we could get Scurious Spine, and a rune mace. We also pulled iron ore, which is very close to unlocking smithing for me. We just need a consistent way of getting the ore. Now, it was at this point that I realized I really should be doing thieving for easier packs, so we went to steal some tea from tea stalls. Alright, we just hit 20 thieving. Let's go ahead and open what packs we got. That's kind of a bad pack. Graceful top. Don't have graceful or marks of grace yet. Emerobes, I think that's a duplicate. Okay. Stew is good if I can get coins, because that's my first renewable food source. Yes, you can buy stew specifically from Varlamore. There's a shop that just lets you buy as much as you want. So, that. We get coins. Wrong coin. Man is beautiful. Finally have a way to train combat that isn't going to be slow as dirt. Bronze darts. Can I buy those anywhere? Or get them in any reasonable manner? There's a spawn of 1 bronze dart on a sailing island. That's not going to be reasonable, but the man is really good in that. Get 2 more. Haya fruit, swamp tar is good for quests. Screen party hat. I want a party hat. I need to figure out how to get that. We'll open this first pack though, or this last pack first. Divine potions aren't going to come for a while. The pendant is. I don't know. That's locked behind that one quest. It's still good to have in the back pocket. Xerxade, not going to be doing raids anytime, maybe ever. So yeah, it's all right. We got the man. All right, got to 31 thieving. Gonna take a quick break because I have 4 packs to open, and that might change what I want to do. So let's go ahead and open these. Strange pollen. That's kind of bad. Cosmic Talisman could be interesting. Black plate legs. Do I have a way to get those? If I get coins. After that, not really. Yeah, that sucks. Alright, Mithril Dragons could be interesting. Adamant Bolts are also pretty good. Not right now, but it's definitely something that's on the table for fight caves, or it'll be needed for ruby bolts, so I'm happy with that one. Everything else is kind of trash, but we'll keep thieving. Alright, just hit 40 thieving. I think I'm going to call it there. We can pickpocket guards now. I got 7 papaya fruits. There were a few more, but I accidentally ate them before I switched the left click to use. So, and on that note, we also have 6 packs to open. Let's rip through them real quick. Yeah, it's a duplicate. Okay. Everything else is bad. Animated Mithril Armor could be interesting. Mystic Hat is also interesting. Knights of the Round Table, that's a step towards piety. So, it's going to be a later game pack, but gonna have to get them all anyway eventually. Carol's Leather Skirt is really good. The Bada is also good, again, if I get coins. We're kind of just waiting on coins at this point. Steel Bar is really good. I have iron ore, so if I get coal, I can actually make steel bars for smithing. Bronze Chain Buddy, can I actually get that? Would that actually even do anything for me? Because I can go grab one in the Dwarven Mines. I don't even know if it's worth it, though. It gives like 10 defense. It might help. I might go grab one. Nose Boots. Strike Worm Bones. Anchovies is also good if we get a small net. That's actually cooking XP. And that's bad. Alright. We got our trusty bronze chain body, and I've decided to terrorize the local population of Edgeville. There's this little barn here with like 6 guys in it, and it's just really easy to train because the monastery is right next to it. I'm able to use Rapid Heal to keep my HP up and then restore my prayer there. For our next pack, we pull maple logs and a bronze spear. Now, the bronze spear is a weapon that we can actually get from minotaurs, but it's so bad that it's actually better to kick monsters instead of using it, so we're just going to keep doing that. The maple logs are pretty big if we get an axe. Eventually we'll be able to have a renewable fletching training source from them, and Veil Totems with maple logs is actually a really good experience, so we might even be able to get 99 with it. Alright, never mind. The monks at the monastery say I am 1 prayer level away from being faithful enough to use their altar. Honestly, I think 19 HP should be enough for me to finish off 43 prayer using the graveyard method, so that's what I'm going to do instead. So I was opening packs as I was walking back and forth, and we actually managed to pull Scurious' Spine. So now all we really need is the Rune Mace and Scurious to be able to pull that Bone Mace, which would be an incredible training method. Now, you need either 50,000 coins or 35 smithing to be able to actually make the mace, but I think I have a secret plan to get that smithing level. We'd want to unlock both Rune Mace and Scurious first before I go through the effort, of course, but just another thing to keep in the back pocket. One of the benefits of doing this early like I am is the fact that most players can't actually attack me. I was AFK because dying doesn't really mean anything, and this player just ran right past me. You think maybe he was intimidated by my bronze chain body? Also, just to provide a quick stat update, because I realized I forgot to provide one after we left Edgeville, we're currently sitting at 15 attack, 18 strength, 15 defense, and 19 hit points. We're also 40 prayer, so 43 should come after a few more inventories. Alright, that's 43 prayer down, which is a big milestone for any account. All the protection prayers just unlock so much content, they're needed for literally everything. We also got 3 packs to open, and we get garbage, nothing, and Phantom Muspa looks cool, but does nothing for us at the present time. So a friend just reminded me of the Varrock Museum quiz, which is such an obvious source of XP, so I knocked that out real quick, which puts us to 9 Slayer and 9 Hunter. This also gives us 8 packs to open. Warrior Guild token will eventually be needed, but isn't very useful to us at this present moment. The Gruzzy Rapier is shiny, but won't be happening, maybe ever. Wyvern Bones are a bettered prayer training method. This pack is nothing. Raw Chicken is good for a potential cooking method, and Muleta will also be incredible if we manage to get Brutus. I decided to go back to agility, and we get one of the Barrows brothers. I feel like Barrows should theoretically be very achievable for TCG accounts, so getting any of the brothers is pretty good. As soon as I hit 30 agility, I went over to Varrock to finish off 40, and I think I'll stop there. 40 agility is when you unlock the Canifist rooftop course, so I think I'll push for Mauritania before continuing this skill. While on the Varrock course, we pulled a hammer, which, although it looks rather mundane, is huge. Since we have iron ore and a steel bar, all we need is coal and a way to get both, and we have a very solid smithing training method. Hammer is also the only item I need to do Dwarf Cannon to net us some easy crafting levels. Let's get started on Dwarf Cannon. This is a very classic quest from many of our youths, and all you really need to finish it is a hammer. I was a little nervous towards the end when I got handed an ammo mold, but luckily it's not actually a card, so we're able to wrap things up. Alright, that's Dwarf Cannon completed, which puts us at 7 crafting. Unfortunately, this doesn't really unlock any training methods for the skill, since everything we still need to unlock comes from cards, but yeah, it's free packs, so I won't complain. And from those packs, we get nothing. Cooked Pyre Fox is actually kind of interesting. We do have raw Pyre Fox, so if I get a hunter training method, a knife, and an axe, since we have maple logs, that's actually a solid food source. Oak Longbow takes 5 range, so even if we get arrows, it's not a range unlock quite yet. Oh, and that last pack is also nothing. Alright, I went back to Minotaurs. I'm still just trying to train all my lower level skills to unlock any potential skilling method I can get before the levels start to get really slow. 43 prayer makes these so much faster than flinching. I'm able to just lazy flick my prayer instead, and it really increases the XP per hour I can get. We didn't really pull any notable cards while I was here. Eye of Newt is decent. It's how you make attack potions, but we're still a few meats away from completing Druidic Ritual. All we have is raw chicken. So, as is the theme this episode, it's okay, but doesn't really do a whole lot for me currently. Hey, future me here. It was at this point that I started looking through my cards, and I never noticed that I had pulled a Steel Axe without realizing it. Here's a screenshot for proof it was pulled by me and not traded by some other player. I looked through all my recordings and I couldn't find where I got it from, so I have no clue what happened to that footage. I must have just missed it at some point. This is honestly my first time recording and editing anything, so I figured I was bound to miss something eventually. It's just kind of a shame that it was something like a Steel Axe. I can actually get a Steel Axe from Thieving Ham members. I can also get 6 woodcutting from forestry events. Now, forestry events nuke the XP that you get if you don't woodcut while the event starts, but I do still get a small amount of XP, so I think that's going to be the final goal for this episode. So we're here in the forestry world. I forgot to record myself getting the Steel Axe, but it didn't take very long, just like 40 or so pickpockets. Turns out you can actually steal raw chicken from them as well, so I got a tad bit of cooking XP. The wood cutting XP here is slow. I'm averaging about 300 XP per hour currently. I think it'll be worth it to push through just to unlock wood cutting, especially since it's so AFKable. Oh yeah, the sapling random event is where it's at. I'm getting 2 to 3 wood cutting XP per mulch I give it. So far I've really only seen the poachers, the sapling, and roots, which I can't participate in because I don't have an axe that I can use. While waiting, I hit 3 with wood cutting, so I might as well open another pack, and I finally pull a usable weapon. Steel Dagger's obviously not going to be the best weapon in the world, but there's a wilderness spawn for it, and it's better than kicking. So I'll grab one before I go back to training combat. After about 4 hours of waiting for forestry events, we finally hit level 6, and unlock the use of our Steel Axe. I am going to enjoy my AFK training while I figure out how to edit a video. I hope you enjoyed watching. This is really new to me, so I tried pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. I was pausing a lot to try to preserve hard drive space. I was making it work the best I could, but I do apologize if there are any weird cuts or edits. Hopefully it'll be better next episode. Feel free to leave any feedback in the comments, and I'll see you all in episode 2. Thank you.